Grace and peace, grace and peace. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, so you know what we're about to do. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Well, I guess I'm the only one that's been gone. But hey, I appreciate you stopping by on today. It's been a long time. And well, it seems like a long time, man. Last week was crazy. There was so much news going on last week. And here I am deciding to go and celebrate my birthday and all that kind of craziness, which, by the way, we will talk about that on tomorrow. So tomorrow's live stream, I'll just answer a whole bunch of questions. So feel free to come on through. It's going to be an AMA, ask me a lot of things, and we'll just have a good old time, having a good conversation, hopefully filling in any questions that you have, answering about Dear Woke Christian, where Dear Woke Christian is going, what's going on with the channel, all that kind of good stuff. Where did this second camera come from? Hold on. Sorry about that. Where did the second camera come from? All that kind of stuff. So stop by on tomorrow. It'll be 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, PM, of course. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. We'll be doing a live AMA. So hopefully you'll stop on through. Then let's see what we got here. Lots of good people already stopping in the chat. I appreciate Q for stopping by. Don't embarrass herself too much this morning, did she? No, Q did a fantastic job on Q's Corner. This is her podcast right here, Q's Corner. She did a fantastic job, ladies and gentlemen. Go check out what Q did. Kiana. She does a social commentary from a Christian perspective podcast, and she did her first live stream today. It was really good. I enjoyed watching it. I was cheering her on from Georgia, so hopefully soon enough, we will be cheering her on in person. Y'all stay tuned for that as well. Where did that camera come from? What's going on with that camera, Jason? Look at that. Look at that. We're getting better at this transitioning thing. Char's in the building. Good to see you, Char. Grace and peace. Good to see you. Hello to you as well. Here goes our newest friend, Nurse Janice, all the way from across the pond. Good to see you, Nurse Janice. Thank you so much. Hopefully all is well over there in the beautiful UK. Black Cappuccino's in the building. Second camera upgrade. We see you. Absolutely. Let me go transition over there. I'm trying to get better at it. I need to get it plugged into my Stream Deck so I can do it without having to I can do it without major key changes, but we'll figure it out. What do we do here? Sorry about that. All right, so there we go. All right. There we go. All right. Yep, all's well here. Cold still, but the sun is out. All right. So, yeah, we're here in Georgia. It's like 83, 84 degrees today. It's been a beautiful spring. I don't know if I want to call it spring because it seems like it just wants to be summer. So, for the last couple of summers, we haven't had like these super, super duper hot days. So, I mean, this is really just warm up summer. Like the summer's getting this little stretch on and kind of getting loose a little bit. Like this isn't a true spring, in my opinion. But hey, if y'all didn't know, yesterday I was on Fighting for the Faith, which is, again, a fantastic supporter of the channel. We did Prophecy Bingo yesterday. My goodness, in the morning, I told y'all that was going to be the most ridiculous show we've ever done. And goodness gracious, it was out of control. So if you didn't get a chance to check it out, hopefully the moderators will drop the link down in the chat as well to go check it out because it was a lot of fun. And shout out to Chris and Joshua and the Fighting for the Faith team for having me on. They were just great hosts and we had a blast. It was a lot of fun and just let our hair down, not being deep and theological, just having a good time poking fun at silliness that's in the world that gets passed off as Christianity. Wait, did somebody say they had snow? Wait. We got snow here. Oh, my word. That got me clutching my proverbial pearls. What are you talking about? It's late April. I had to play some Prince for that. Sometimes it snows in April. My goodness. But yeah, shout out to the Fighting for the Faith team for having me over there for Prophecy Bingo. And speaking of bingo and speaking of being ridiculous, on this Thursday, I am going to be doing Critical Race Theory Bingo in celebration of hitting 50 members on the Dear Woke Christian membership page. So here on YouTube, as well as on my Buy Me a Coffee, put them all together, we hit 50. So let's go celebrate. So if you're not familiar with Critical Race Theory Bingo, what I do is I take a whole bunch of woke prognosticators. I take their little speeches, their sermons, their lectures, their whatever, TED Talks, put them together into a short little clip, load them all together, and find all the buzzwords. We're going to, I've already collected all the buzzwords. There are some ridiculous ones in here. And we're going to just play bingo and listen to them, have a good laugh, have some fun and all that kind of good stuff. I might even have a few guests. So stay tuned for that as well. So that's going to be Thursday, the 24th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so, get ready to come, have some fun. Again, no deep thoughts were going to be ruined by this at all. So don't even worry about that. We're just coming to have a good time and make fun of it, because at the end of the day, that's all we can do is make fun of these people, because I refuse to play their game. And what's going on, Matt? We had a sprinkle of snow here too. Where do y'all live? Where do you live? What's wrong? Colorado, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, among other states, are getting snow. Are you kidding me? Oh, my word. Oh, my gosh. That made me sad. Well, I'm praying that all is well. I'm sure y'all can handle it, so it's not like you can't handle snow. That's just wild. Wow. So it's May 20th, not May 20th, it's April 20th, and y'all are getting snow. Wow. That is bananas. Thank you so much for Shar for dropping that link to Prophecy Bingo. And by the way, the Fighting for the Faith crew is 1,400 subscribers away from hitting 100,000 subscribers. I'm not saying I need you to subscribe to them so they can hit 100,000, but go ahead and subscribe to them so they can hit 100,000 subscribers. That would be crazy. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, Costa Chameleon. This is what I'm talking about. 80 degrees here in Georgia, and it's only 1 o'clock. Wow, Shara, in Colorado. That is wild. Okay, that right there, man, I gotta take my hat off to you for that one. Y'all hang in there. That's craziness. That's why I'm right here in Georgia, minding my own business. We got pollen, and that's all I got to worry about. And the fact that my drink is already gone. I brought it in here and said I wasn't gonna drink it, and started doing some work, and it sat there right there and drank that drink. And now, but I got my reserve drink already, so we got that one here. All right. We've gotten snow in the summer in Colorado. It's up in the mountains and didn't happen all the time, but it does happen. Wow. Though I understand, I think I've told you this too. I understand the topography of Colorado, but I just want Colorado to be super hot, arid, quasi-desert, but it's not. I understand that, but man, snow in the summer. Y'all must have did something wrong. Y'all need to really consider whether or not collectively Colorado should repent. Did y'all do something wrong? You know what it is? Maybe y'all Coloradoans have not liked this video. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but y'all might need to look into that. Is there something we need to do collectively as a people to turn this blight of snow in the summer around? Is there something we need to do as a people, as a collective? Is there something? I think you should look into it. Okay, craziness. Craziness. But you know what? Also, by the way, shout out to everybody that's watching this, or anyone that's watching this on Rumble. I just remembered that. I am now streaming to Rumble. Let me check real quick. It should be available right now. And I pop over there and I see me. What do you know about that? Shout out to those that are watching me on Rumble. So if you're over there, shout out to you. Give me a shout. I don't know if it'll show up on my main screen, but if you do go over there and you shout me out, I appreciate it. I'll keep them both open just to any comments that pop up in the live chat on the Rumble. I will make sure to give you all a shout out as well. So I really do appreciate it. Now, all of the craziness going on with Trump and Fani, Tiffany Henyard up there in Colorado, in Dalton, Illinois, and then of course Uncle Joe. There's just been so much craziness going on. So we're gonna clean out all the traps to the best of our ability today and get all of that cleared out so that next week we can start afresh, because we got the Trump trial starting. We're gonna be getting into that. I think they're done with jury selection, I wasn't really clear if they truly got all of the jurors and alternate jurors in place. So we're going to look into that. There's so much going on with Dalton. I don't know what to keep. I don't know how to even keep my eyes open on that. Then we got Fani and the craziness going on. We got a lot going on. There's a lot in these traps. These traps are we're super full. And so we'll get into that. So all jurors are seated. Okay, they got them all. So I saw, and again, especially when you're checking other people, when you're using other people's sources and such like that, I saw that they were still looking at jurors, but I wasn't certain if that was up-to-date information. So thank you, Juan. I appreciate you. And speaking of that, I want to say thank you all. Now, I've noticed while your guy was on that little birthday getaway, I noticed some other content creators of the Christian stripe starting to even say that their live chat is the best live chat. Let me let you know, have no fear, people that are here. This is the best live chat. I have it on good authority, on perfect authority, that this live chat is going to be nominated for Screen Actors Guild Award. Go figure, right? For best supporting live chat. I mean, go figure. This is the best live chat. So I know I've seen them. Some people even sent me, hey, so-and-so is calling their live chat the best. Let me tell you this right now. This is the best live chat on the planet. Now the Screen Actors Guild is going to confirm that. So please have no fear, people. This is the best live chat. Now, I will say, I appreciate the other content creators because they do have good live chats. They have great live chats, okay? Dare I even say they have really neat live chats. The only problem is the best live chat is right here, Dear World Christian. So thank you all so much. Why don't y'all real quick, since you all make this thing a reality, can y'all please just in the chat, tell me where you're from? I know we're talking about Colorado. I know we got Nurse Janet from the UK, but where's everybody from? Y'all know where I'm from, the Peach State. Let's see, drop it in there. So got that UK popping already. I love it. Yeah, that's kind of crazy though. Like the stories here in the United States have become like this little fiefdom of Dalton, Illinois. Because mind you, Dalton, Illinois is not that big of a place. It's really not. And it's not a lot of people. But that little thing has gone global. Like people are talking about Dalton, Illinois globally. I was on the cruise ship and talking with people from other places like, oh yeah, I got a cousin that lives in Dalton. Well, see, they're from Chicago. So they know there was a little bit more, but they knew about everything that's going on in Dalton. That's crazy. And they live in Texas. It was bananas. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. Hey, yo, I got NYC in the building. All right, good to see St. Louis in the house. Come on. Costa Chameleon's in the right place. All right. Q is, of course, in the great state of Alabama. Ontario. Yo, I've learned so much about Canada during the lockdowns and the situation going on with Grace Community Church up there in Canada. You know, Canada is such an interesting place because the way we do our the way we do geography here, you know, with states and so on and so forth, you know, y'all know how big Texas is, right? Like Canada is like 5 Texases side to side, and it is craziness. So, but I've learned a lot about Canada, and looking forward to learn a little bit more. Got Ohio in the building. Of course, we got that Denver in the place. Wisconsin. That is so interesting. Now, Janice, I don't mean to pick on you because I think you might have mentioned this. Are you from the States or are you from Canada and now you're in UK? I wasn't certain. I wasn't clear where you were from originally. You mentioned something, I think, in a comment about the United States, but I wasn't certain if you were ever a resident born here and then moved to other places, or were you even born in Canada? So I would, if you don't mind, I was just asking. Did I miss anybody? You miss anybody? Lightfoot is ticked off because the feds came in. Beetlejuice wants that $400 an hour. Yeah, yes, that is true. That is true. That's a good point. I wonder what happened there. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm really interested. Well, we will be continuing in that. Unincorporated Lake Geneva. I'm not rich, but I have a beautiful farmhouse. Hey, sometimes that's it. No, in UK, born in UK, visited US and Canada. Loads of family in US, and they all moved from Jamaica in the 60s. Really? Okay. Well, perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your insight. Hopefully, prayerfully, there won't be any drama going on in the UK. But now we know Dear Will Christian has a UK affiliate over there on the other side of the pond. So if anything pops off in the UK, we're going to be tapping Nurse Janice to give us the inside the scoop on what's going on in the UK. I love it. I love it. Really? All right. So Matt has an opinion about UK. He says, hey, it's a nice place if you stay out of the bigger cities, for sure. Hey, look, I hate to say it, but the United States is kind of like that. I mean, look, and I live in Atlanta, and I'm telling you right now, I have not been in the city of Atlanta on purpose for a while. We drove through there to go to the airport when my sister-in-law came and picked us up. She wanted to go to a restaurant. So we did drive into the city, yes. And she ran in and got her food, and we were out. But yeah, I haven't been downtown in a while. And I can't tell you last time I was downtown at night. So y'all can just give that up. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Abigail. We had so much fun. I'm telling you right now, the Fighting for the Faith team, they put together a great show. And so that was a lot of fun. So thank you all so much for watching that. Very true, Nurse Janet says. I live in the countryside. We are the only house in a few miles. Wow. Just take a second to think about that. What if you were the only house for several miles between you and your neighbor? She said several miles. Few miles. Yeah, that'd be crazy. I can't imagine it. I won't go back to live in London. It's too busy. I wouldn't mind that though. That does sound kind of peaceful. That does sound peaceful. Yeah, that is dope. Well, thank you, Nurse Janice. Thank you for not only being a subscriber, thank you for chiming in and giving us a little peek behind over on the other side of the pond, which is always cool to hear. I'm loving the interaction that we have with so many people from different places and different stripes. So that's super cool. So I appreciate it. Thank you. You know what, real quick, I appreciate my mods as well. So I want to say thank you to all of the moderators who've been helping out as well. Even while I was gone, even when I was pushing out a premiere, I know as many of the mods were there and everything was going fine. Just like sunshine and rainbows. Just like if I were here, if anything else was going on. So I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much to everybody who has the wrench. You all have definitely helped me out. And Juan beat me to it. Mods are the best. Absolutely. And matter of fact, can we just go ahead and do it? Y'all know I'm gonna have you do it. Type MOD in the chat. Let's just give the mods a little shout. MOD, MODS, either way. I really do appreciate y'all because you all make this show go off without a hitch. I really do mean that. Look, you all, this is a labor of love for you all. And I really do appreciate you all supporting the channel, helping it out. And I'm not going to list names so you all know who you are because I'll probably forget one and I'll feel terrible about it. So thank you all so much to the mods for what you all do to keep this game rolling in the right direction because goodness gracious, if it was up on me, we already know we would be off in a ditch somewhere. So I appreciate y'all so much. All right, let's get into this thing. So as I told y'all before, I like the analogy of checking the traps. So I was checking the traps and boy, oh boy. There's just so much. There was so much going on last week. I really, truly am shocked. I'm kind of surprised I didn't do anything while I was gone, but we were, and I'll talk about it tomorrow. We had such a great time. And shout out to Lady Dear Will Christian, who was able to get not one, but two of my elementary school friends and their families with us, as well as four of my college roommates together. And we all went on a cruise together. It was outstanding. Shout out to Lady Dear Will Christian. I'll talk a little bit more about that on tomorrow. But I had fully intended. I had told people like, yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do a live stream and blah blah blah, and we never did. We just never did. But we had a great time. So I'll fill you all in on that on tomorrow. But let us get this game going. All right. So one of the things that we noticed in the traps was that there was a lot of stuff going on in Dalton, Illinois. So let's start with the lowest hanging fruit, if you will. So Dalton, Illinois, if you're not familiar, that is the where Tiffany Henyard holds sway there. She is the mayor and this county township supervisor. And even a friend of mine that was with us, her aunt lives in Dalton. I can't understand what this supervisor thing is. It's like a mayor of mayors. It was very confusing. And I was like, I don't get what this is. So that's on them. But let's talk about Dalton, Illinois. So here we go.
To get this, I've been a reporter for 15 years. East Coast, West Coast. I have worked in a...
So this is Regina Waldrop from Chicago. And she's going to give like she's going to give you the 30,000 all the way down to the most recent bits of information pertaining to Dalton, Illinois. So if you haven't been keeping up with it, or you're like, well, what's this whole thing with the super mayor and Tiffany Tahoe, whatever, she's going to help fill us all in. I thought it was really useful. So let's go.
A lot of communities, big communities, small communities. I even covered farming, but I have never, ever, you hear me, covered a community like Dalton. But I know a lot about Dalton. I grew up around that area. I grew up 4 miles away in Harvey, all 9 of us. So I am very familiar with that small suburb. What do they have? About 20,000 people who live there. Median income is around 50,000. That's according to Wikipedia. It's a small community. Bedroom community, you got a lot of people who've lived there for decades, 30, 40 years, and now they're retired, probably raising their grandkids. You got police officers, teachers, nurses, it's a hardworking community. You know, we're not the North Shore. It's not Kenilworth. It's a small community with people who care. I have been there a lot, and every time I come there, people are always coming up to me, and they know my name. A lot of times I go out, people don't know my name. They think I'm the other Black girl. But they come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you, Regina. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. Thank you for coming out here and caring about what is happening here in Dalton. And you know who's at the center of a lot of their frustrations? Tiffany Henyard, the mayor, or super mayor, as she calls herself. If you look around the community, you will see her billboards everywhere.
That is so wild to me. When I was checking the traps, I was really surprised how much she posts her pictures everywhere. It is kind of crazy, man. Like, yo, that's some real high level narcissism right there, that you put so much effort into posting and her name. Not only her picture, but her name is on a lot of buildings in Dalton. Like you've only been there 3 years. Like, dude, how have you gotten this much done? Like, this is crazy. All right, let's keep this going, because I think this Ms. Waldrop did a great job, and I want to give her some shine. Shout out to her.
I want you to know that she is the mayor of this community. We got it. She's the mayor. So before she was mayor, Tiffany was a trustee. And right now she's on year 3 of a 4-year term. In 2022, she was also appointed Thornton Township supervisor. So she's got a lot of power in the south suburbs. She got a lot of power, but she's also got a lot of investigations and lawsuits from former employees, business owners. A lot of allegations are being made against her. A lot of people want to know about the spending in the community. A lot of the trustees said they have been asking for documents, a lot of residents, but they said they're getting nowhere. Their questions regarding spending are not being answered. That's got to be frustrating. When this is the community you live in, you just want these questions answered. You want to know what money is being spent where, how much, when, how often. You know, some of the trustees also say that some of the bills just aren't getting paid. The trustees also tried to pass a resolution recently to call for the Attorney General's office, the FBI, other law enforcement authorities to come in and investigate. But that was vetoed, but they're gonna keep trying. But they're begging, they're asking for any of these law enforcement organizations to come in and investigate. Residents too. Some of the residents say they have, wrote letters to different authorities, but they have not been answered. But these folks are trying. They're trying to get some oversight in their community. Now, these 4 trustees also recently appointed former federal prosecutor Lori Lightfoot. She was the...
Okay, I'm gonna point out right here, because I talked to somebody yesterday, and most of us really were scratching our head like with the Lori Lightfoot thing. And okay, I'm going back and forth, because I know earlier I said I thought it was a good idea. Then I kind of went back, and I'm back on this is a terrible idea. This is a horrible idea. And I'm going to tell you why. Lori Lightfoot actually has no power here. She can't subpoena anything. She can't demand anything more than anyone else that's already asked for and demanded things from Tiffany Henyard. So having her there to basically co-sign what we already know, that Tiffany is probably not handling the money correctly. She's not been giving documents. We already know that. We know that, and we're not even trustees. We know that, and we're not living in Dalton. I'm going back and saying, you know what? Lori Lightfoot doesn't really, that's not a good look. And again, when you add to it the complexity of who Lori Lightfoot is, I really don't think that they made the right choice. They could have picked anybody else, but again, the people that they pick, they don't have policing powers. They don't have subpoena powers. They don't have any more power than me giving you the ability to look into and the such of that nature, look into and investigate. But you're just going to be making recommendations. You're going to say, hey, I asked for this stuff and she didn't give it to me. The same thing. So nothing really new is going to change with Lori Lightfoot. So I know I went back and forth. I said, I kind of think it's a good idea. I think it's bad. I'm going back on, this is a horrible idea because you don't have any power. Lori doesn't have any power. She doesn't have any ability in this case to do anything. So her being here and collecting an exorbitant amount of money per hour for what? In a district that's in a community that's really struggling financially. To me, it's now if Lori came in there and said, look, I'm doing this pro bono because I believe that Dalton needs better, I might change my mind. But that's not the case. She came in here collecting that check. She wanted that check before she got in position. So let's let her finish.
Former mayor of Chicago, these 4 trustees appointed her as a special investigator to look into what's happening in Dalton and also to look into what allegedly happened before and after a business trip taken to Las Vegas last May. So on that business trip, Mayor Henyard, 2 village trustees, some other representatives from Thornton Township, and also the mayor's assistant. Well, the mayor and now trustee Andrew Holmes are the focus of a civil lawsuit.
I think she kind of skipped over this, and I really would love for her to explain. The trip to Las Vegas was for a mall convention. And the hope was that they would bring business back to Dalton. None of that materialized. But in the process, this is probably where most people got on the Tiffany Henyard, Dalton, Illinois information train, was after this trip to Las Vegas, which seems to be like everything that happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Not so much. But there was a lot of money spent there. First class, all kinds of meals, all kinds of this, that, and the third. It was a lot of money spent and nothing came back from it. There was no business came back to Dalton, nothing. It just looks like you went on vacation on the taxpayer's dime. And then no receipts came back. So that was why, this is where most people kind of picked up on Tiffany Henyard. So she kind of missed that part. But from that trip to Las Vegas, now she's going to explain.
Based on what happened before and after that trip. And trustee Andrew Holmes is He's trying to get help for them, trying to get suspects to come forward, try to get, he puts out reward information. He walks the street, trying to get information when there's a shooting. He's always there. A lot of people know who he is. If there's a shooting, Andrew Holmes is there. But he's also a trustee for the village of Dalton. Well, this lawsuit that was filed by the mayor's former assistant accuses Mayor Henyard of retaliation, and it accuses trustee Holmes of assault. NBC5, what we're doing is we know the woman, the former assistant, we know her name, but we're choosing not to say her name at this point. According to her lawsuit though, after dinner, she went out with trustee Holmes and she said she felt lightheaded. They've been drinking, she says, and she felt lightheaded, like she was going to pass out. And she says the only thing she remembers after that point is waking up in his bed, not feeling like herself, feeling uncomfortable and not sure how she got there. Also in the lawsuit is a phone conversation allegedly that happened between trustee Holmes and Officer Byron Miles, who was part of Mayor Tiffany Henyard's security detail. Now, according to the lawsuit, Trustee Holmes called Officer Miles and told him he had unprotected sex with the woman. Trustee Holmes FaceTimes Officer Miles and also shows him the woman in his bed, moves different parts of her clothing. Again, the woman is or was Mayor Henyard's assistant. So when Officer Byron Miles...
That's some grimy work right there. That's some nasty work. If the officer has recorded evidence to that point, I'm sorry, that is some grimy work. Now, I'm a little bit troubled by the fact that this happened in Las Vegas, and she's about to say when Officer Byron told the assistant what had happened to her. Well, he didn't tell her until they got back to Dalton. In my opinion, if you knew this and it was this as troubling as it sounds like it is to us, he should have told her while she was there, and they should have gone and got the thing started in Vegas. That's just my little 2 cents. But let us continue.
Gets back home, when everybody gets back home from Las Vegas, according to the lawsuit, he meets with the woman and tells the woman what Trustee Holmes told him. And it's all detailed in the lawsuit that according to Trustee Holmes, he had unprotected sex with the woman. So Officer Miles tells the woman that and tells her she should go to a doctor. So according to the complaint, when the woman seeks out Mayor Tiffany Henyard, she says she wants to, let her know what happened. The mayor allegedly says, if this gets out, it could ruin me. The woman says the mayor goes on to say she would take care of it. Well, the woman says she was eventually let go, put on medical leave, she says without her permission, and then eventually she lost her job. So what happens to Officer Byron Miles? Well, he says he's taken off the mayor's security detail and then faced retaliation. He's still a police officer, but says, according to the complaint, he still faces retaliation. Why? Because he said he came forward with what he knew allegedly happened on this trip in Vegas. So according to the lawsuit, Officer Miles and the mayor's former assistant, here's what they want. They want back pay, they want front pay, and they want all the attorney's fees paid for. So they also have filed complaints with the Illinois Department of Human Rights, which is investigating as well. So you've got the civil lawsuit filed by Officer Miles and the mayor's former assistant, and you also have the Illinois Department of Human Rights investigating as well. So what is the village saying about all this? Well, the village says they conducted a thorough investigation with a third-party company or investigator. The village also says the mayor's former assistant, Officer Byron Miles, refused to cooperate with this investigation. And finally, the village says these are nothing more than 2 disgruntled employees trying to make off with taxpayers' hard-earned money. So I reached out to Trustee Jason.
I'd like to know who is the village that they interviewed and talked to. She's not really clear on that. I'm not trying to throw shade at her at all. I'm just wondering, who is the village that they talked to? You didn't talk to, buildings and roads. You talked to humans. Who are those humans, and what were their roles in this foolishness? But that's just my little 2 cents.
House, and I said, hey, what do you know about this third-party investigation into what happened before and after that trip in Vegas? He said that's news to him and other trustees. He said that they knew nothing about this investigation. Nothing about it. That's what he's saying. That's what he told me. And that's why Jason House and 3 other trustees voted to appoint former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot to look into what happened on that trip to Vegas, what happened after, and other allegations of misuse of funds directed toward Mayor Tiffany Henyard. I also have to mention that, what happened in Vegas, of course, we tried to get a police report. We have FOIA'd South Holland Police, we FOIA'd Vegas Police. South Holland did give us a police report, but much of it's redacted, blacked out. Of course, we don't want to see the names and addresses and phone numbers. We just want a detail of what happened in this police report. Vegas said, nope, we're gonna deny your request. And their reason why they denied a request, because it could invade someone's privacy. Again, we're not looking for anyone's address or phone number or anything like that. We just want a report of what allegedly happened to the mayor's former assistant when she was in Vegas, and what is the information detailed in that police report that's now in the hands of Las Vegas authorities. So a village hall is for the people, right? You go there, you can pay your water bill, your tax, you can ask questions at village hall. It's for you to use in your village, you know, city hall, village hall is for people to go to. Businesses, maybe you're paying your tax bill, maybe you have, maybe you have a question, maybe you just want some help. Village hall, where you can go. Not in Dalton, it's off limits, much of it is. And residents want to know why. So there's a little area in the front of a village hall now. I mean, it's got to be, what, 6 by 12, 6 by 6, just so small, 2 or 3 chairs in there, 2 or 3 people, that's all that's allowed in there. Residents are frustrated. They want to know, why is their village hall off limits? So we tried to find out. FOIA, asked the mayor's office, why is much of the village off limits? I was told because of threats against trustees, the mayor, other officials. So I said, let me have a copy of these threats. I want to see these threats. Who's making these threats?
Right.
We're still waiting to get a copy of these threats. On social media, email, we're still waiting for these threats. The village told us it's inundated with FOIA requests. So when it's able to get to our FOIA request, it will. We're still waiting. We want to see these threats. So village board meetings, they happen twice a month. The 1st and 3rd, 6:30 at Village Hall. But man, that one at the 1st of the month, it's a doozy. I mean, it's the last one I went to, we had to pass through metal detectors. And you have people who lived in this community for 30 years, who've been going to a village board meeting. Never in their life have they had to pass through a metal detector. And then you know what? There were lots of people left out, and they were banging on the door and they were yelling, let us in, but they weren't let in. I say it was about 50 people let into that meeting, and so many other people were left outside.
That's crazy.
And then the police chief, he threatens everyone. He says, if you clap, if you speak out, we're gonna stop this meeting. I covered a lot of meetings. You can't speak out, you can't clap. That's the way it goes down in Dalton. So the meeting ends up getting shut down anyway because Trustee Jason House, he says the meeting can't go on because there's not enough room for everybody according to the Open Meetings Act. And so Trustee Jason House, 3 other trustees, they get up and they leave that meeting. And I talked to him after, I said, Jason, why'd you leave? Trustee, why'd you leave? He said, because we have to let people in. This is their community. They have to be able to come in to the village board meeting. We have to make accommodations for them.
At this point in the game, they need to go ahead and open up a basketball arena or something, because it already seems like their town hall or village hall is already too small. You add to it the complexity of all of these shenanigans. Yeah, this is wild. Okay, so let's keep going.
Story, Dalton, it's got so many twists, so many turns. Really, I want to do a story every week in Dalton. I want to be there every day. These stories need to be told. They deserve to be told. This community deserves some answers. And I just didn't drop in. I'm from the south suburbs. I grew up 4 miles away.
Wow.
I have family still in the south suburbs. They deserve to have their community covered. They deserve some answers, and we're going to be there every step of the way.
So shout out to them. I thought that was a good summary of where they are up to this point. And I know there's been even more recent updates because the FBI has swooped in. And I'm the only reason I didn't want to bring that case in, and I actually found it, and the only reason I didn't want to is I wasn't certain how this plays into Lori Lightfoot being the special prosecutor or investigative prosecutor in that, because somebody kind of mentioned that Lori's upset that she's not going to get that money. And that was the only thing I wasn't clear on, because I wanted to be able to answer that. So if I can, I will come back in and answer it, because I didn't want to say like, well, what did the FBI do? Because there has been an indictment last week. One of the finance directors was called on the carpet about a bankruptcy that he falsely gave false information on. And, that's all well and good. But I didn't know where that would lead as it relates to what would happen with Lori Lightfoot as well as with the county. So that was just it. And if I can nail that down, then I want to be able to give you the full look at it. But that's up to, last week with the indictment started. But hopefully on Monday, maybe we'll get a Tiffany Henyard perp walk. That would be amazing. So real quick, looks like some good commentary going on in here. All right. And Juan has it correct. Like hiring Lori Lightfoot to investigate Tiffany Henyard is like hiring Michael Myers to keep Laurie Strode safe. Absolutely. That I didn't get what was the appeal because somebody else mentioned it. They could have just hired an attorney to do what, any other attorney to do this. So I don't know why they had to hire Lori Lightfoot. And again, I understand what they were, I think I understand what they're trying to do because, Lori doesn't have a job. So she might be, and she was apparently a decent prosecutor. I got you. But it's Lori Lightfoot, for crying out loud. We all know who Lori Lightfoot is. And to me, that was just really a reckless, I have no idea what they were thinking. I'm sorry. And I respect the trustees over there. I think they're doing a yeoman's work. They're trying their best to make much, to do the right things for the community. And I do believe that those men and women, Jason House, besides the fact he has a great name, I do believe that they're trying to do the right thing. It just doesn't make sense to me. It made no sense at all. Like, yo, what in the world? Why would you do that? Of all the things that you could do, why would you do that thing? I just didn't get it. It's still all new, so no clear update on Lori Lightfoot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it seems interesting. Like they literally, they had been begging the FBI, begging the AG and the such, like the Attorney General and the such, to come in. Once they hire Lori Lightfoot and they're on the hook for paying her, then all of a sudden the FBI comes in. It just seemed weird. Like, yo, she checks a lot of boxes. Right, but the problem is, and I'm not even trying to be like anti-box checking. I'm not even trying to just be anti-box checking, but Lori Lightfoot brings a level of complexity to the equation that it would be akin to, it was very akin to here in Atlanta when New Birth Missionary Baptist Church former pastor Eddie Long passed away, and the trustees, if you will, the deacons, the church leadership said they needed a name to bring people in because New Birth was hemorrhaging members all the time. This is early on. This is like 2018-ish, so on and so forth. And so they tapped Jamal Bryant. Well, Jamal Bryant is unqualified as a pastor, and he brought a lot of drama to New Birth that they really don't need. When the metal meets the meat, when you really clear it out, that church did not need a lot of drama. They needed a sound biblical pastor that would lead the church in the right path that they should have been going with Eddie Long, which they didn't. So in my opinion, that was a dumb idea. And it's very akin to here with Lori Lightfoot. Like, what's the purpose of bringing Lori in here? You could have just got a good attorney. That's all you needed. But let's not be confused. Couldn't Fani have done that? Couldn't Fani have just hired somebody, the right kind of person, to lead a RICO case? That's all she had to do. She didn't have to hire her boyfriend. She didn't have to do that. She chose to do that, and therein is the problem. That's the problem, in my opinion. But I appreciate these comments. Thank you so much. Real quick, if you do like what we're doing here, if you do like this content, I got 22 thumbs up. I got 44 people watching, just about half. Can we break that and get to 30 maybe? So I can get 8 more people that really like this video. And if you don't like what I'm doing here, just hit the like button 3 times. It'll do something. I promise you. So speaking of Fani, let's have some fun.
Welcome back to season 2 of As the Peach Rods. In this gripping second season, we delve deeper into the heart of Georgia, in a state where the odor of mendacity lingers in the air. Our intrepid team of chat room investigators is on a mission to peel back the layers of deceit and uncover the truth. From backroom deals to embezzlement scandals, no stone is left unturned in our pursuit of justice. But as tensions rise and alliances shift, who can be trusted in the Peach State? Join us for a season ripe with drama, where even the fruit isn't safe from corruption, because sometimes the juiciest scandals are right under your nose.
Let's get at it. Y'all know Fani been acting up. Y'all, I don't even understand. I do not understand. So I took a couple of news articles and just kind of condensed them down to get us all back up to speed. And I did look at this article. This might actually be okay. So we're going to, here, since we were just talking about Dalton, let's stick with it. So I do have this article. Just a quick understanding of the subpoenas and what the FBI did. So I do feel like this one probably will at least give us up to speed on what's going on. So,
and we are following breaking news out of Dalton, the FBI serving subpoenas. Thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Dawn Hasbrook.
I'm Scott Schneider. We want to start with breaking news tonight. The FBI, as Dawn just mentioned, serving subpoenas in Dalton.
Let's get right to Elizabeth Matthews at the Village Hall, where 4 agents were this afternoon. Elizabeth.
Scott and Don, it is all quiet now, but here's what Fox 32 has learned. We've learned that those 4 federal agents paid a visit here at the Dalton Village Hall around 2:40 this afternoon. They were serving, like you mentioned, 2 subpoenas. Take a look at some of this amateur video that was sent in to our news station by a Fox 32 viewer. It appears to show a couple of those federal agents inside Village Hall. Here's what we know so far. One subpoena apparently focuses on employment and disciplinary records of 15 Village of Dalton employees, including 3 police officers and Keith Freeman, a senior administrator recently charged with bankruptcy fraud. The other subpoena, number 2, focuses on Freeman and any potential involvement with certain companies and whether or not they received any money, business, or contracts relating to the village. This, of course, comes as Fox 32 has reported on numerous investigations surrounding embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Again, 2 subpoenas were served here at the Village Hall here in Dalton around 2:40 this afternoon. We expect to have much more on this developing story coming up tonight at 9 o'clock. For now, live in Dalton, Elizabeth Matthews, Fox 32, Chicago.
all right, so that's our finance director who was indicted. So they're looking into his dealings as it relates to the district, as well as, you notice they're looking at employee records. So that kind of lets me think about the assistant that was fired and the police officer that was demoted. It looks like they might be getting into that as well. So this is going to be wild, to say the least. But I appreciate it, and I'm going to keep you posted. I really think that Tiffany Henyard is going to be a wild story. I am working on an omnibus story, if you will, because I found most people feel like this whole thing with the city girl mayors and the city girl district attorneys is fairly new. I challenge that it's not. And though a lot of them were brought in during the 2020 winter and summer of love, however, there are a ton of others that were in position well before them. So I've been working on a little bit of that, kind of pulling that together. So that'll be soon. Now we're done with that. Let's go ahead and look at old Lady Fani. Oh, Fani. Let's go.
Now the Justice Department reportedly finding inconsistencies in Fulton County DA Fani Willis's use of federal grant money. Yeah. Willis fired the whistleblower who warned the DA's office was attempting to misuse $488,000. This was a federal grant. She wanted to use it to pay for computers and travel. I don't know if she was traveling with her boyfriend or not, but the DOJ told the Washington Free Beacon the grant is plagued with reporting discrepancies, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, no, God bless the whistleblower came forward. We've talked with the whistleblower. She's given information to the press, to us. Now the Department of Justice is looking into this. All kinds of problems with Fani Willis and this ridiculous investigation that she's run on President Trump and others and the charges she's brought forward. I mean, you got the whole thing with Nathan Wade. Taxpayer money going to Nathan Wade. He was traveling to Washington to meet with the DOJ, the White House, the January 6th committee, all in this effort to go after President Trump. And now we have this. It looks like misspending federal grant dollars. God bless the whistleblower came forward and let us understand what's going on here.
Yeah, no, we don't know who they are. We did hear from the lawmakers on Friday, and they told us that they have these whistleblowers. They tell us that they have quite a few of them who are eager. So 2 things working against the DA, not only the state lawmakers with those alleged whistleblowers, but also lawyers say they have proof that she was lying before this trial or these allegations ever began. So Ashley Merchant is the prosecuting attorney here. She claims that the affair with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade began long before this racketeering case. And she says that's contrary to an official affidavit just about a week ago from Willis. So she writes in part, this is a motion that was filed on Friday. Since Willis and Wade were not forthright about their relationship in the first instance, there is no reason to believe they are telling the truth now.
The process has to be fair. And part of my job is to make sure that the police, law enforcement, prosecutors don't violate my client's rights as the case goes on.
Merchant grilled Willis on the stand just weeks after exposing a relationship the district attorney shared with the election indictment's top prosecutor.
Since exposing a relationship between District Attorney Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, her top election indictment prosecutor, that ended in Wade's resignation, Merchant has taken on a folk hero status of sorts, with some following Fulton County's historic court case.
I knew it would have an impact, and I knew it was serious enough, or else I wouldn't have raised it, but I didn't quite anticipate the response.
Merchant represents Michael Roman, a one-time staffer for former President Donald Trump, accused of spreading falsehoods about Trump's 2020 election loss. She filed.
Y'all, real quick, I don't do this often. I don't stop a video in the middle to put a commenter in timeout. But y'all, type Patty's name in the chat, because Patty just said, what does Fani consider swag? Never mind. I don't think I want to know. Y'all put Patty's name in the chat, because that's out of control. Patty, I'm going to have to put you in timeout right there. You got to go to timeout. You got to. That was hilarious. Good call. Good job, Patty. Well done, Patty. Well done. Salute to you. All right. Out of control, Patty. Out of control. Fulton County waist trainers. Y'all are wild. Why are you people like this? Why? What has happened to you? Who hurt you? What's said about Wade took his mom on a cruise trip with not only his boss, but the woman that he was cheating on his wife with? Let me tell you right there, that is some grimy work right there, Daniel. That's grimy right there. Again, a shout out to Royal Caribbean. Dear World Christian loves cruises. All right. Shout out to Royal Caribbean. There's no way in the world. And I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, but I thought it was very funny that, Fani said that she took Nathan on that cruise because he had a horrible 50th birthday. I went on a cruise because I had a wonderful 50th birthday with my wife. This story is so crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, this thing, Atlanta must be stopped, okay? It's got to be stopped because we're out of control to this degree, shape, and form that you literally are taking your mom. I can't imagine my mom co-signing that foolishness, my sinful behavior, and going on a trip with somebody that's not Lady Dear World Christian. I just can't even mentally assent to what level of degeneracy have we reached where my mom, who more than likely my mom was at my wedding when I married Lady Dear World Christian, my mom now is on a trip where I am clearly not, and she knows that I'm clearly married to Lady Dear World Christian, but I'm on a trip with Lady Floozy. That's some nasty work. That is nasty work. And I'm just saying, like, the mom is equally, now sure, your mom is not going to discipline you and whatever like that, but I'm sorry, no cruise is worth your level of integrity. The cruises are not that good. The food is not that good that your integrity would be, girl, go with some girlfriends from church. But my goodness, in the morning, like, there's no way. How did she buy into that? That's some nasty work, man. Oh my gosh, that is nasty. I was thinking about that on the ship, like, yo, these people were really high tier, grade A, grass-fed foolishness. All of them. All right, let's get done with this because this is a fun video, by the way. Shout out to, where'd it go? Oh my word. Resume.
Bombshell allegations in early January after several days of fiery testimony, including from the DA herself.
This is the truth, Judge. And it is a lie.
Willis was allowed to stay on the case as long as Wade resigned, which he did. But Merchant and 8 other defendants are now appealing that ruling, arguing the case can't move forward with Willis at the helm.
Point blank period. Should Fani Willis be prosecuting this indictment?
No, not at all. And I think the only way that we'll have a just result and the only way that we'll know that justice was actually done is if someone who does not have an interest in the case looks at it.
A Georgia appeals court is weighing whether or not to take up that case and has now just about 30 days to decide. Merchant says coming forth with the allegations wasn't easy. She knew Willis and Nathan Wade. She even campaigned for Wade when he was running for a judge position a few years back.
I still maintain that I would have supported him in that. That doesn't mean that he's qualified to do a RICO case. That doesn't mean that this was appropriate. It doesn't mean that Miss Willis should have been having an affair with a man that she was paying all this money to.
The district attorney in Georgia says she will not recuse herself in the Trump election subversion case. The House Judiciary Committee chairman subpoenaed Fani Willis to produce documents related to the use and spending of federal funds. House Republicans are investigating allegations that Willis engaged in an improper romantic relationship with her lead prosecutor.
You never wrote him a check?
Ma'am, I don't have checks.
Okay. So you have no proof of any reimbursement for any of these things because it was all cash.
Okay, I want y'all to watch this and notice And I've mentioned this before on several live streams. Notice Fani Willis never brings receipts. She never brings examples. Just think about it. If you knew that they were going to ask you about a check that you wrote 2 years ago and you actually had the checkbook in your purse in the closet, would you not have brought the checkbook to prove, yeah, I wrote this check, or the cleared check or the bank statement or whatever like that? Notice she does this a lot. And she said the same thing to Jim Jordan. She's done this multiple times. I'm telling y'all right now, I think the level of mendacity, the odor of mendacity in Fulton County is starting to become like people are starting to choke on it because it's getting insane. But watch this. And I watched this over again. I'm like, yo, we didn't realize when you go back and watch it, now that we know a lot more about her story, it not only does the whole Brahma bull breathing all heavy and such like that, this is a lie, this is a lie. Not only that, but notice she has no proof of what she says. And she literally says, oh, I'm just saying it, so you have to take it as evidence. And I do hear Judge McAfee. I don't think Judge McAfee was being a fair shooter. And you're going to hear as well. So let's go.
Right? The testimony of one witness is enough to prove a fact.
So my question was,
do you have any proof? Is that what you're intimating right here?
I'm asking if you have any proof that you paid him any of these
The proof is what I just told you.
You have no written proof. Is that correct?
So I have some, probably some transactions.
Where is it? Why did you not bring it with you? That's the problem. See, this is why I'm telling you, Fani Willis is a grade A storyteller. She is a high level storyteller. Listen to what she's, just run this back a little taste, Jason. 10 seconds. It might be 30 seconds. Sorry. All right. Oh, it's 30 seconds. Darn it.
Prosecutor.
You never wrote him a check?
Ma'am, I don't have checks.
Okay. So you have no proof of any reimbursement for any of
She doesn't have checks. You just heard her say that. Watch what she says next.
these things because it was all cash, right?
The testimony of one witness is enough to prove a fact.
So my question was,
do
you have any proof?
Is that what you're intimating right here?
I'm asking if you have any proof that you paid him any of these
The proof is what I just told you.
You have no written proof. Is that correct?
So I have some, probably some transactions like in Belize. I probably spent $500 on my card in Belize. I spent
What did you bring with you?
$800, I can't remember, $900 on each of our tickets to go to Belize.
So do you want me to believe that you paid cash for those tickets? Where are the receipts? Where's the evidence, Fani? Again, like, I'm trying to be gracious, but this right here, you're making it impossible. I can't do the level of gymnastics and mental taekwondo that's necessary to believe what you're saying, Fani.
At the $700, I probably got some minor expenses in Aruba that would be on a card. But for the most part, for those trips, other than, so the 2 cruises, I gave him money for those before we ever left because they were pre-booked. Let me answer.
Well, the question was if you had any written proof. And so
I've answered you that I've had written
we
proof.
can move to the next question. If you've answered if you had any written proof, and that was my question.
I want to make sure that we're clear that for the 2 cruises,
Judge, I asked if she gave him written proof.
We're not going to talk over each other. Ms. Merchant, she answered your question, so we can ask.
I don't understand what Judge McAfee heard there because I don't believe the woman answered her question. And I think Ashley Merchant was correct to continue to press on that because she actually didn't answer the question. But I digress.
The next question. Ms. Willis and Ms. Cross will have plenty of opportunities to let you clarify your answers when it's her turn.
Thank you, Judge. Knowing your role as district attorney, you know that public funds are scrutinized and money is scrutinized and things like that. You understand.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You understand you're under a microscope. You have reporting requirements, all of those types of things. You have no record other than your testimony of the money that you've given Mr. Wade.
You've already asked that question. Let's keep going.
When you took office, you had a tax lien of $4,600. Did you pay that with cash when you made that tax lien whole?
I probably paid through however you pay.
Okay.
Wait.
You were saying that you had.
I probably paid through however you pay. How did you pay it? Again, she brings no receipts. She brings no evidence, and she wants people to just believe her with no evidence, no proof, or anything of that nature. What is your evidence? I just paid you with whatever. Did you pay him through Zelle or Venmo, Cash App, a paper bag, a brown paper bag full of cash, of course, a check, credit card, money order? How did you pay him? Traveler's check? How did you pay him, Fani? I paid him with, however you pay. That is the funniest thing I've heard all day.
Amounts of cash. You still had that lien in 2022 when you were dating Wade and going on these trips. So the cash that you gave him, that could have been used to pay this tax lien off?
Wow.
You gonna tell me how to pay my bills?
I object. This is not relevant as it relates to why we're here today.
Ms. Merchant, are you trying to establish that she was insolvent in some way?
I definitely was trying to establish that she did not have these mass amounts of cash that she's talking about, yes.
All right. Re-ask the question.
You had a tax lien in 2022, $4,600.
Did you say I did?
And you did not use this cash that you had to reimburse Mr. Wade to pay that off, correct?
No. I went shopping too when I didn't pay it off.
And you talked about, you gave a lot of interviews to some authors of a book called Finding Books, right?
I would not characterize it as a lot. I probably have spoken to them 2 or 3 times.
My question is relevant as to.
And a lot of you all are commenting about writing checks and taking cash to pay bills, all those things. The problem is, I'm sorry, not even a disagreement. You would get a receipt. That's all we're saying. And Ashley is trying to drive home the point. You have no evidence to this. We're just supposed to believe you. And mind you, she's saying that the testimony of one person is enough to establish a fact. I'm pretty sure if we took that comment and jumped over to another courtroom, the YSL court case, I'm pretty sure they're not using that same logic there. But I digress. Let's go.
I think it's already come up that finances are discussed in the book. I'll overrule that.
Thank you.
Ms. Wilson, you can continue your answer.
What came up with Mr. Wade as it relates to hearsay statements that he was asked about in relation to what Ms. Willis may or may not have said in relation to an author. So it's not relevant to the testimony that's occurring at this time.
I think Ms. Merchant has said that inside the book, she also makes a statement as to her own finances.
But pressure is growing on her by the day. We are hearing from State Senator Bill Cowsert. He is spearheading that. Claims that he has multiple employees who are eager to take the stand. He met with reporters on Friday saying, you lose the confidence of the public in the fairness of our criminal justice system if they think prosecutors are engaging in prosecution so their lovers can get rich and they can share the benefits of that. He went on to say this is not a witch hunt.
Yeah, I don't think that this should be a political partisan exercise. And this came about after Ms. Willis's prosecution had been going on for over 2 years. The state Senate had done nothing to intervene. But only in the last couple of months after the Atlanta Journal and other Atlanta news outlets began reporting a lot of troubling allegations of prosecution for personal gain, misuse of federal funds, misuse of state funds, potential improprieties, improper relationships between prosecutors in the case, did the state Senate get interested? And the reason is because the people of Georgia are very troubled by these allegations. And
let me stop real quick. One, I don't know why they decided to record that inside of a, I don't know where, a NASCAR museum or something. I don't know why it's so noisy back there. But no, I'm a Georgian. We're not worried about it primarily because of Fani and Nathan's extramarital affairs. It's the fact that the level of corruption that's becoming very clear. We are seeing this in 4K. We are watching this bandage get slow ripped off, and we're like, yo, that thing under there is gross and it's nasty. We're realizing, yo, Georgia is really corrupt. We're realizing like there is a level of corruption, and it's Fulton County is just the microscope is on, the magnifying glass is on Fulton County, but we're realizing, yo, this is probably in a lot of other places. This might be in Cobb County. This is probably in Rome. This is in Dalton. This is in other areas of Georgia, this level of corruption. So that's really what we're concerned about, is the corruption that is being revealed to us all in 4K.
It's important that we have the public's confidence in the fairness and impartiality of the criminal justice system, and that's been shaken. And this is not by allegations made by state senators, they're not made by political parties. They're not political allegations. These are reports that are coming from both within the Fulton County DA's office and from your investigative report.
People you term whistleblowers.
Yeah, there are whistleblowers inside the Fulton County DA's office that are raising complaints and allegations about the misuse of both federal funds and state funds. And you lose the confidence of the public in the fairness of our criminal justice system if they think prosecutors are engaging in prosecution so that their lovers can get rich and they can share in the benefits of that. And I'm not comfortable with that scenario, with that perception by the public. And I'm not going to accept these as true just on their face. I love all you local reporters in the Atlanta Journal and the New York Times is here. I see today, I'm not doubting your veracity, but we're going to independently verify it because you've raised some very, very troubling allegations, and we will have the power, having the power to compel testimony, to be able to subpoena documents, even things that are being objected to right now, from what I hear in other legal proceedings, so that we can find out what the truth is.
Is it a given that you will see testimony from Fani Willis?
It's not a given. If I will certainly give her the opportunity, and if I were her, I would want to be heard. It seems that she is objecting to testimony in other proceedings, and she may very well attempt to refuse to participate or to be heard by our committee. She will have an opportunity to give her explanation for things, and with no prejudgment. I know that's hard for many to believe since I'm Republican, but I am appointed as the chair of this committee for us to be independent, for us to be fair, for us to be transparent, and I intend to be that way, and I've communicated that to members of the minority party, and I think you heard their comments today, that they accept that, they appreciate that, and they're going to participate in this process, and it's important that they do. This needs to be bipartisan so that the public will not think this is an unfair process, that this is bipartisan in nature, and that everybody's going to have an opportunity to be heard and to produce their documents that are relevant, to give their testimony if that's important, but that it be thorough and that we find out what are the true facts. Nothing preconceived, no prejudgment here. But it's something the public deserves, is to learn, is this being handled fairly? Are there any improprieties going on? Is there any misuse of public funds? If so, our job's not to go after any person, but it's to make sure this doesn't happen again. Let's get Georgia laws amended or implemented that can restore faith and confidence in our judicial system for Georgia citizens. Yes, sir.
You started to touch on it. You mentioned it during the hearing.
I can dig what Kauser is saying, and I support that. I just want it to be clear that it's not just that they're going after Fani, but rather what Fani is doing, and even more than that, how it's impacting the system, which I think they're doing a good job of trying to make that clear, but they could always keep driving that point home.
What is the purpose of your committee? You mentioned other committee investigating this. What is the purpose of your committee?
So in Senate Resolution 465, it clearly tells us to investigate these allegations of corruption, impropriety, misuse of public funds, and then to determine whether there are any necessary amendments or changes to Georgia law or any new laws that need to be passed to remedy these problems. And that's what we'll do. And we may find that this entire system of using a special assistant district attorney rather than the dozens of DAs on the staff right now, that maybe there need to be some rules about relationships between special prosecutors and the person hiring them and approving their bills. Maybe there need to be clear rules what is and is not permitted in that process. It may be something broader than that. It may be many narrower ideas, and we're certainly receptive to any proposals. And we're going to look and find out what the facts are, if there are problems, if they're institutionalized, if there are things that are permitted by law, that the laws need to give guardrails so we can have public confidence once again.
Senator, it sounded like from your discussion that it's likely the committee's work is going to extend beyond any regular session. Is that a fair assumption?
That is almost 100% guaranteed. We're so busy during the legislative session that we're not going to have the opportunity to meet too many times. And it's going to take some time to accumulate the data, documentation, evidence, so to speak, that we need to make informed decisions here. So I would expect this will go on for many months.
You mentioned the hiring of outside counsel.
Yes. All right, so real quick, because I don't know why they decided to do this in the NASCAR museum. That was just, I should have probably tried to edit out some of that noise. Yo, how in the world are y'all putting up with, somebody else said it snowed last weekend. Y'all need to really check. Shout out to California, shout out to Colorado. Y'all need to check, man. Have y'all been doing something wrong there? What is, there needs to be corporate repentance. If y'all are getting snow in April, can we all agree that y'all, we need to stretch our hands toward Colorado and California and just pray for them. My brothers and sisters over there, y'all need to repent. Sackcloth and ashes. We'll send you some. I got some ashes out the grill. I will send them special from the Green Egg. Y'all need to repent. How y'all getting snow in April? That's crazy. All right, let's go. Let's finish this.
Research and do you have an idea of what that might cost for this? And is that in budget already?
Yeah, there are funds in the budget we can utilize for that. I don't really know what that's going to cost. I don't know who will hire, what they'll charge. We are not going to be lavish in any expenditures. I can assure you that. That's one of the complaints against Ms. Willis, that they've spent probably $1 million prosecuting her, all from a special grand jury up to indictments and a special counsel, et cetera, all that here on the case when you've got all this backlog in the criminal justice system. You just wonder sometimes how many assistant DAs could have been hired for that $1 million that could have been prosecuting crimes. So I don't know. So we're not going to duplicate that and be just lavishly spending money, but we got to make sure that there's experts in the fields that know how to properly construct and draft subpoenas and how to enforce those in court if need be. So we'll be looking for people with that type of expertise.
And then I just want to make sure I understand. You said that whistleblower, their depositions and testimony would be done in private.
Could be.
Okay, but would the actual testimony without the identification of the person become public, or is that all private?
No, it can be. It can be kept confidential or it can be disclosed. Part of that will be based on the witness's desires. But I think if I were an employee of the Fulton County DA's office and I knew of financial improprieties, I would want that to be kept confidential. I only know what I read in your publications, but I am told that there was a whistleblower on the misuse of federal funds who was terminated after coming forward with those allegations. So if I were another employee and I had that fear, I probably wouldn't want my identity made public until I could tell my story.
It sounded from in the hearing that you've had whistleblowers come forward?
We have had people come forward that would have asked to speak with us with relevant information. I don't know that information yet. I've not interviewed them, but there are people that have information they want to share with us.
And it will be...
All right, so I think this is funny because this comment that she's about to make. But so he explained a couple of things that we've discussed here on the channel as well, like the new commission here in Georgia to look into DAs. What was the purpose of that? Is, again, they're not trying to fix things that were done in the past, but make sure that in the future, moving forward, that things are done in a way that they can properly handle. Because, again, a lot of this is brand new because they never had somebody do that before, AKA a district attorney hire their boyfriend or girlfriend to work on a case and be paid such an exorbitant amount of money. So actually there's no case law for it. And they didn't have in place a means by which to resolve this. So even if they did slap Fani or Nathan with some kind of, it would all be brand new. So there's nothing in place that they could have done today with this situation. And I do understand that. Now, I do think that they did lie. I do think there should definitely be some ethics violations on, and we'll talk about those in a moment as well. But watch what Fani says here.
Very unfortunate if the taxpayers of this community have to pay for any of those lawsuits. And I certainly will not be choosing people to date that work under me. Let me just say that.
Fani Willis got herself into trouble with her own video resurfacing from 3 years earlier.
Well, calls are growing for Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney Fani Willis to step down from the election interference case against former President Trump. I mean, can she do the job with all that's going on? That's the question.
We are at a place in society where things happen in people's relationships, husband and wife. Sometimes there are outside relationships. I don't think that that's what the community is concerned about, although there might be a moral breaking in that. I think that what citizens are really, really concerned.
It is funny that she was having an affair with Nathan while she was making the statement. That's some grimy work right there. She's literally having an affair with a man who's married while she's saying this. That is some grimy, extra grimy with a side of grimy work.
About is if you chose to have inappropriate contact with employees. I mean, there's nothing that I can say on it other than it is distracting. It is certainly inappropriate for the #1 law enforcement officer in the state. And it really, really saddens me. And it will be very unfortunate if the taxpayers of this community have to pay for any of those lawsuits.
She's paying this alleged secret unqualified boyfriend $100 more an hour than she's paying an actual RICO expert attorney who she brought in. I think that people need to light up Governor Kemp and Attorney General Chris Carr's office and tell them to open this criminal investigation.
She herself is snarled in a messy love triangle, allegedly, and faces calls to resign for paying her alleged lover, Nathan Wade, big money, $650,000, despite him having no experience. She put him on the Trump case, arguably the biggest case of her career, and paid him, and now stuff's happening.
I think there's a general concern in this country right now, and this sheds light on that, Martha, in that we're appointing these individuals to positions of power where they have access to taxpayer money, and they're selecting cases to become more famous, not do the right thing. And then we see this slew of corruption that eventually comes down, including this story.
Florida Congressman Byron Donalds with this: the Lord did not cause you to stumble into $600,000 in taxpayer money because you're sleeping with the lead prosecutor. There's prosecutorial misconduct. Fani should be removed and disbarred.
In this divorce case, another hearing coming up next month, we'll look at whether the two behaved improperly.
Okay, I don't know the nature and the purpose of this particular picture, but this thing right here always cracks me up because it does not look like Nathan is. It looks like Nathan is this picture right here always makes me laugh because I'm like, what is Nathan looking at? What is he looking at? Oh my gosh.
And whether they improperly use taxpayer money to take vacations. Many are already beginning to say that the district attorney should step aside.
I think that the case is, if it hasn't gone off the rails already, it's about to.
We've already gotten a hint at what might be in those divorce proceedings. On Friday, lawyers for the estranged wife released bank statements that show Nathan Wade bought plane tickets for himself and Willis to go to Miami, to go to San Francisco, to take a Caribbean cruise, and to rent a hotel in Napa Valley, California.
Now, some of those receipts that he was talking about from the travel came directly because the estranged wife, Joycelyn Wade, that's in part of her filing. And Fani Willis is accusing Wade, Joycelyn, of harassing her and damaging her professional reputation, like allegedly sleeping around, didn't do that. And she says she's doing that also by subpoenaing her for a deposition in the divorce case. Well, you want to win your divorce case and you think you found the woman who's been spending taxpayer money, that might be a way to do it.
This gives meaning to the phrase bringing the receipts. She's literally bringing the receipts. It's all so incestuous, and I think that it very much plays to Donald Trump's benefit because it's such a soap opera. Like right when you think politics can't get any crazier, then this stuff happens, and I think it sort of undermines and reminds people that everywhere you have these highly partisan charges against Donald Trump, whether it's Fulton County or New York City or Washington, D.C., they're some of the most lawless places. And this just adds a whole veneer of sort of grossness to it that I think kind of helps him in his political argument that these are partisan charges.
All right, let's talk about this case for a bit. Legally, I've been reading, they cannot remove her from the role while, this is going on. And she has said she will not step away. So then they would need to put, and by the way, Nathan Wade, her alleged lover, worked as a municipal court judge, mainly in traffic law and family law.
There go that look again.
And Fox Research found that he had never been involved litigating a felony. But he's in charge of the election interference case of Donald Trump.
Yeah, and they have put so much effort into this case. And
money.
And money, obviously, as we saw with the receipts. And then...
They're doing this on purpose, because this is literally the third time I've seen this picture. Drop some eyeballs in the chat. Drop some eye emojis in the chat. Why do they keep doing this to me? They know that man is looking... He is not looking at the right things. They know that. They wrong for that. They're just wrong. And Juan, you're wrong too, man. You know you're wrong, Juan. You know you're wrong, man.
And then meanwhile, it's not like Atlanta is the safest place to walk around at night. Hey. It's not like aren't
they have
other crimes going on in Atlanta. But this is their focus. And again, it goes back to the political argument that Donald Trump makes, which is this is all partisan. This has nothing to do with law and order.
In this divorce case, another hearing, we'll look at whether the two behaved improperly and whether they improperly used taxpayer money to take vacations.
Under your testimony, you would have said that she had also entertained you
Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And so your answer to this interrogatory is false, is it not, sir?
No, it's not false.
Well, hate to dance around the answer is yes, you did entertain Miss Willis, correct? Right?
Yes.
She's not your spouse at that time or any time, correct?
That's correct.
She's not related to you by blood or marriage, correct?
That's correct.
But you entertained her, right?
Yes.
And during the course from your marriage, the period of time up to the present, so the answer would have been, yes, I did entertain somebody, correct?
During the course of the marriage, no.
Mr. Wade.
Mr. Gillen, I think we've made a point. I think it speaks for itself, and we can save that for our.
No, I'm sorry, McAfee. McAfee's wrong for that. Wade is about to outright lie and try to spin yarn, and I think he should have let him keep going, because I think it was his grandpa at this moment, or Boots, one of them, was about to give this guy the work.
I'll just follow up with one quick question. You understand what the word present means?
Your Honor, that's what I'm asking us.
I think we did cover that already as well.
Okay. Now, what has happened from the time that you filed this court document in May of 2023, let's go over some of the things that you have been involved in terms of being entertained or entertaining. Prior to your filing on the answer on the interrogatories on May the 30th, 2023, we've already established, have we not, that you had paid for a Royal Caribbean cruise to the Bahamas with Miss Willis, correct?
Yes, sir, with Miss Willis and my mother.
Well,
your mama
mother's not
on a date
part of this interrogatory. I'm talking about Miss Willis, okay?
Your side piece. Your mom went on a cruise with you and your side chick. What does that say about the state, the degenerate state of Nathan Wade, of Fani, and now I gotta say his mama? Like, how is your mom co-signing this? That is some grimy work. That's nasty work.
So you paid and caused to be paid approximately $3,335 on that trip, Bahamas trip, from October the 28th through October the 31st, correct?
Your Honor, objection. I think we've touched this ground several times already.
Mr. Gillen, let's cover new ground.
Well, I'm just trying to establish with specificity the things that he had done to entertain or be entertained prior to May the 30th, 2023. I'll try to move through it quickly.
Sure. Well, that's already part of the record in terms of his prior testimony, and so if you want to link those two things together, you can do that during argument.
Well, so let me discuss this. You indicated that during the course of your explanation concerning the Belize trip that Miss Willis paid you all that money back in cash. Remember?
Yes, sir.
Now, the Belize trip had just happened, hadn't it? That occurred in March 18th, 2023, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're filing this maybe 2 months after you have gone to Belize with Miss Willis, correct?
Your Honor, again, I believe all of this is
I think you might be getting somewhere new. We'll see.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So we've got the trip in to Belize on March the 18th, 2023. You and Miss Willis, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, 2 months later, you file the interrogatories that speak for themselves that we've gone over a few minutes ago, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, the March the 18th, 2023, to state the obvious, is before May the 30th, 2023. Will you agree with me on that?
I do.
Okay. So then you tell us that Miss Willis paid you in cash all the money for the entire trip. It was a gift for you for your birthday, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure you probably have the deposit slips where you took the cash and deposited the cash into your account, don't you?
I did not deposit the cash in my account.
You don't have a single solitary deposit slip to corroborate or support any of your allegations that you were paid by Mrs. Willis in cash, do you?
No, sir.
Not a single solitary one?
Not a one.
Now, when Miss Willis would pay you in cash, would you scamper down to the ATM with her and as she drew money out of her account
Your
to
Honor.
pay you these thousands of dollars?
Mr. Gillen might scamper, but there's been no evidence that Mr. Wade does. I object to the phrasing, the argumentative nature of the question.
Type scamper in the chat. I got to write scamper. That's a new one. I might have to get that one. That one's going to have to get into the repertoire. Scamper. You're going to scamper on down there to that ATM and get that money out. I mean, the fact that these people are lying like this, and Nate, I understand he's a liar, and he is allegedly he's a liar, and he's using comedic, smiling. There's a point where it looks like he almost winked at his table. he's using that to kind of put off the fact that he knows good and well that he's lying. And he's trying to put it off. That's why he's smiling. He's trying to show a very positive, no, I do not have any data whatsoever. He's smiling. He's trying to off-put the fact that he is outright, unequivocally lying to these people. And he wants it to kind of get by smiling and coming across as likable. Because I think most people agree that he came across differently than Fani did. And so therefore, he wants to position himself. He wasn't doing this intentionally because Fani had not come in yet, but he wants to be likable. People be like, I kind of like him. You know what? He's got the very well put together suit. He's crisp and clean, even though somebody said that his beard looks like it's fake. But you know what? He comes across as likable. So he's using that smile and that personality to be likable versus what we'll see later on or what we saw earlier with Fani, because she was totally unlikable in any way, shape, or form. I disagree with this, but I do agree with scampering. So please put scamper in the chat. I'm going to find some way to use that today, the rest of the day. Scamper on down.
On that issue, overruled.
Did you and Ms. Wade scamper down to the ATM machine and have her dry out? For example, on the Willis trip, just on your payment would have been $2,794.
Miss Wade.
For clarity, yeah.
Pardon me?
Miss Wade and I didn't go to Belize.
No, excuse me, Miss Willis. I'm sorry. Did you go down to the ATM?
Dude, how grimy do you have to be? How grimy, how cold and callous does your heart have to be that you are referring to your wife, the opposing attorney accidentally says Mrs. Wade, and you did not at all shudder. You did not at all feel any kind of, your heart is callous, my guy. I think we're now no longer need to worry about whether or not this guy it needs to be disbarred, whether or not he needs to remain an attorney. And now we need to wonder whether or not this dude has a heart. Like, yo, I cannot imagine. Lady Dear Woe Christian contacted my two friends from kindergarten. And one of them said, before she finished the conversation, we were like, send us the link so we can pay because we want to be on that trip. I can't imagine the level of disrespect that this man has for his wife. And mind you, his wife is ill. And again, nobody is saying that marriages are easy. So I think anybody who's been married for 9 seconds can agree to that truth. But how grimy do you need to be in here talking about your side chick, and the other one, the attorney, accidentally mentions your wife and you don't even blink? There's nothing that changes in your demeanor. Yo, you are epic. Yo, my guy, you are of the high level of grimitude. If there was a class on how to be grimy, it would be conducted by, it would be instructed by Nathan Grimy Tyrone Wade. Yo, that is some extra grimy with a side of filth. That's some nasty work. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Yo, you are grimy, my guy. And I watched this video and I knew it was coming, but I'm like, yo, I just realized it just hit me again, like how grimy, how nasty you are. Okay, I'm gonna back it up because everybody gonna have to experience this with me. All right, let's see.
Solitary deposit slip to corroborate or support any of your allegations that you were paid by Mrs. Willis in cash, do you?
No, sir.
Not a single solitary one.
Not a one.
Now, when Miss Willis would pay you in cash, would you scamper down to the ATM with her and as she drew money out of her account to pay you these thousands of dollars?
Mr. Gillen might scamper, but there's been no evidence that Mr. Wade does. I object to the phrasing, the argumentative nature of the question.
I'm in control of this. Yo, we're going to get a body language expert to, again, we might have to go back over this because, man, the body language on this thing was epic foolishness.
On that issue, overruled.
Did you and Ms. Wade scamper down to the ATM machine and have her dry out? For example, on the Willis trip, just on your payment would have been $2,794.
Miss Wade,
For clarity, yeah, thank you.
Pardon
me? Miss Wade and I didn't go to Belize.
No blink. No shadow of turning. No despair in my eyes. No anything. My wife and I didn't go to Belize. I went to Belize with my 304 side chick, who happens to be my boss. That dude doesn't even blink. He doesn't even, yo, when they have a college level course on how thou shalt be grimy, it will be taught by Nathan Tyrone Wade.
No, excuse me, Miss Willis, I'm sorry. Did you go down to the ATM with Miss Willis while she drew out $2,794 to pay you in cash? Did you go to the ATM with her?
No, sir. She didn't go to the ATM. She carried the cash.
Oh, and so she would give you the cash.
She carried $2,000 in cash to Belize. In the chat, if you believe that, I'm not going to ask you because nobody believes that. Nobody believes that you carried $3,000 almost to Belize. Nobody believes that. There's nobody believes that. And he's smiling with that smug smile because he really wants you to buy this lie. Oh my gosh.
Did you have a little place in your house where you just stack up all this cash that you apparently got to repay you for these benefits that you bestowed on her?
Well, Mr. Gillen, if I answered that, I'm putting myself in jeopardy. If I tell the world that I have cash someplace in my home, don't you think that could be problematic?
No, I don't. I want an answer as to whether or not you have a little cash hoard in your house where you have allegedly taken the money that you got from Mrs. Willis and went and put it somewhere. Where'd you put it?
No, sir.
Now, just put it on the hip and kind of walk around money?
Did I put it on my hip?
Yeah, just walking around money where you would spend the cash yourself?
Let me finish. Did I put it on my hip in Belize and walk around with it?
When you got paid back, would you take the money, the cash that she gave you, and would you just carry it around with you for spending money around town?
So we have to break down each trip because, for example, for the cruise, she paid me the money before we took the cruise. So I was here and I could put the money in my pocket or put it away wherever I wanted to do with it. Other trips, she would give me the money there. So at that point, I could either spend it or put it in my pocket or put it in the hotel safe.
There's no special place that you would have all this cash that you would be getting from her that you've told us about to pay back for the benefits that you have bestowed on her?
Right. The only special place that cash would have gone would have been to one of my children.
Okay. Now, are you aware?
Let me just also say that he is now, by saying that, making that statement, he moved a target onto whom? His children. So now it is very possible, hopefully it will never come to that, but by him saying that, they could actually reach out to his children to investigate and see, did your dad give you money like this? Now, granted, y'all all have heard how Nathan has started to disown his children. So I would really hate for this to become the story that now they're now, Trump's team is asking his kids about, hey, did your dad give you this money like that? Because now his children are now spurned children because he abandoned his son in Italy or wherever it was, his daughter going to med school. This is going to be ugly. This is some grimy work. And y'all, man, pray for Nathan. Pray that this man repents. I don't know what's going on with his marriage. I don't know what's going on with his kids, but this dude, there's no reason to believe that his heart is not broken over the fact that what he is doing and how he's putting his whole family and all of their business out there on Front Street because he had to go chasing after some tail.
You discussed these pleadings with Miss Willis?
No, sir.
So there's been no discussion between you and Miss Willis about the allegation concerning the benefits that you have bestowed on her. Is that correct?
To the phrasing, the benefits bestowed upon, I don't believe that's an accurate reflection of the testimony, and I don't think that's the appropriate question.
I think overruled. You can answer the question.
Okay. When you say proceedings, are you talking about the divorce proceedings? Because we were talking about the interrogatories. To that question, the answer is no. If you're go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead with your answer. I'll hear the complete answer, then I'll follow up.
Okay. If you're asking me about this hearing, the proceedings of this hearing, have we discussed the financial piece based upon Mr. Roman's motion? Yes.
So you have discussed the financial piece. Where did that discussion take place?
Conference room.
Were you other people there, or were you and Ms. Willis discussing this about what your position was going to be?
The relevance of this.
Well,
Mr. Gillen?
Yeah, the relevance has to do with suddenly we have a declaration from Mr. Wade in this case, where he says roughly equal, and then shows one alleged payment by Miss Willis. No mention of cash, none. So I need to find out a little bit more about how suddenly we have this revelation about cash from the witness stand today.
Overruled.
So we part company there when you say no mention of cash. If I provided one receipt that didn't amount to what you would think was roughly equal, the rest of it is cash.
Well, did you in your declaration, sir, that was filed in this case, did you tell the court in that declaration that the expenditure that you had provided on behalf of Miss Willis was paid for back by her in cash, yes or no?
I believe that I did when I said that the expenses were split roughly evenly.
If you could point to me any place in your affidavit where you used the word cash, I would appreciate it. Take your time.
I didn't use the word cash, no sir.
No, you didn't use the word cash, did you?
But I didn't say that she didn't give it to me in cash.
No, you just didn't tell anybody that you allegedly got paid back in cash, right?
No, I told everyone who asked.
Today?
Yes, sir.
Now, who else was with you, if anyone else, when you and Ms. Willis were discussing how you would be handling the financial component of the motion here today, that is the personal benefits?
I'm going to object to the relevance of that, Your Honor.
And as I'm thinking about it now, I think this is actually worse. So we know that Nathan and Fani discussed this before they came in. So now that adds a new level of insanity to the fact that Fani came in there with no notes, no receipts, no proof, no evidence to her point, just rather give me this file, this motion, these are lies. She came in there empty-handed, and they already knew what they were going to talk about. And she came in with no proof or no evidence. That actually makes it worse. Yo, man, this is crazy. I appreciate y'all so much going through this with me. And if you don't know, my name is Jason. This is Dear Woke Christian. I like to give social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective. So we're just looking at Nathan Wade and kind of clearing out the traps of what's been going on with this Fani Willis case. If you like this kind of content, feel free to hit the like button. I really do appreciate it. It looks like 50, almost 60 people, 58 people are watching this, and I really do appreciate all of you. 47 of you all have liked it, and I really appreciate that. If you like this kind of content, hit the like button. If you don't like this content, just hit the like button 3 times. It's sort of kind of like the same thing. But you're still welcome to be a part of the best live chat on the planet, and that is here at DWC. Let's go. Let's finish.
Well, the relevance is if they know that they're going to be called as witnesses, they've been subpoenaed, and they are discussing what they're going to say, we need to know that. The court needs to know that. It goes to the veracity of Mr. Willis and, Miss Willis and Mr. Wade.
We didn't discuss how we were going to handle testimony.
My question was, when you were discussing with Miss Willis in the conference room, when you were discussing what you perceived to be the situation concerning the benefits for the payments.
Yes, sir.
Was there anyone else present?
No, sir.
How long did the meeting take?
Probably 5 or 10 minutes.
Did Miss Willis tell you what she was going to say?
No, sir.
Did you ask her whether she had any bank withdrawals that would corroborate the assertion that she would pay you back in large sums of cash for these trips to the Caribbean, Belize, California, on and on and on?
Your Honor, again, I object. The proffer when the last relevance objection was made was that Mr. Gillen needed to know who else was there. These could be potential witnesses that you could cross-examine. That question has been answered, so I can't object.
Okay. I think it's still exploring possible bias or motive to shape his testimony, so overrule on that ground.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Willis, Mr. Wade, when you were having this discussion, did you ask Ms. Willis, do you have anything to support these cash withdrawals?
No, sir.
Did you ask her where she got the cash?
Here, this is the conversation. I produced my credit card statement that showed what Ms. Merchant in her filing was representing. That was the conversation.
Okay. So
basically,
when she would pay you back in cash, were you aware of what her financial situation was? Do you know what?
No, sir.
Your Honor, I object to the relevance.
Well, Your Honor, it's relevant because we've been bombarded with a book, Find Me the Votes, in which...
What's at issue is the financial benefit, and if that plays a material interest in an actual conflict of interest, so I think that's relevant.
Thank you. Now, have you read the book, Find Me the Votes?
I have.
You have?
I have.
Okay. Now, in that book, Ms. Willis is telling the authors about how financially destitute she was, or kind of hitting down on the bottom as she was running for DA. Do you remember that part of the book?
So let me qualify the response. I've read the book in parts. I hadn't had the time to sit and read the book in its entirety.
Did you read that part about how she's telling the authors about how little money she had and how financially she was in bad shape prior to when she was running? Did you read that part?
No, sir.
Did you ever have discussions with Ms. Willis about her financial situation, which was apparently in rough shape prior to her being elected DA?
No, sir. Ms. Willis made it clear that her financial business was just that. It was her business. I know nothing about her financial status. I know nothing about how she was faring before or after the election, or even now. I know nothing about her finances.
Telling us that she didn't share that with you, but chose to share it with the authors of a book that's been published and printed and sold nationally.
I think that's a fair question for Cross.
I don't know that she shared it with the author. I don't know that the author is telling the truth. I don't know the author, so I don't know, sir.
Okay. Now, did you give an interview to the authors of that book?
I've given no interview, sir.
So you haven't talked to them at all, correct?
I haven't talked to any media.
All right.
None.
Now, as it relates to the...
I'd like to, though.
As it relates to...
I'll interview you, Nathan.
But again, from your bank records that you're aware of, there'll be no cash deposits, right?
I didn't say that.
Are there cash deposits which line up with the money that you have allegedly received from Ms. Willis to, quote, pay you back for her part of the trips?
So here's the thing. In my bank records, you will see cash deposits. You will see check deposits. I can't say that you look through the bank records and you won't see cash deposits, because I have two sources of income, sir. Income comes from my private practice, my firm, and income comes from the contract here with Fulton County. During the course of private practice, occasionally I will have occasion to deposit cash into my account.
And in preparation for this hearing and your testimony, did you go through your bank records to find out if you could locate any cash deposits that would corroborate your testimony?
No, sir. I didn't go through my bank records at all.
Now, so what you would do, the money that you received, of course, the money that you received from your work for Fulton County, that's public funds, correct?
No, sir. That's private funds. It's my
public funds pay you to do work for Fulton County, correct?
Tell me what the definition of a public fund is.
A public fund would be funds, as in not fund, but funds, money. Public money, as in money from taxpayers, either in Fulton County or the state of Georgia, pay you to do the work that you're doing here in this case, yes or no?
One or the other, I'm certain.
You know which one?
The case. I don't know which one, no, sir.
Now, you would take those public funds, and those public funds were then used, deposited in your account, and they were then used to pay on the credit cards for the trips that you would take with Ms. Willis, correct?
I object to the question insofar as the characterization of public funds. The witness didn't testify to that, and I don't believe there's been any evidence to that. Once it's paid to Mr. Wade, it's private funds.
Well, the point of it is that you got money.
All right, Mr. Gillen's rephrasing.
Yeah, I'll rephrase. Let's break it down. You got money from Fulton County for the work that you do here, right?
Yes, sir.
You would send in invoices. They would pay you money, correct?
Yes, sir.
Those money, that private money, that money was money from either the citizens of Fulton County or from the state of Georgia, correct? That's what I mean by public funds. Agreed?
Well,
and I mean, I know he's a lawyer, and so that is something that lawyers do. But I think he could say, well, sir, if you worked at a donut shop, then you would be getting private money and you'd be using it privately. If you work for a government entity, that money that they pay you is taxpayer money. The government doesn't make money. I think he could have made it a little bit clearer, but I also believe Nathan was just being disingenuous.
I guess I'm having trouble with the notion that the citizens of Fulton County have paid me any funds. I'm not certain the funding source. I can tell you that either the state of Georgia or Fulton County has written me a check.
So that would be, those two entities are public entities, correct?
Public.
Yes.
So that would be public funds, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
And those public funds are from the same source that you would then use to pay out on your expenses for the trips that you took Miss Willis on, correct?
No, sir. As I testified to moments ago, I have income coming in from my law firm. I also have income coming in from the funds that we're here discussing now, from either the state of Georgia or Fulton County, and or both. I'm not certain what it is. So to say
Sorry,
that
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
So to say that I'm paying a credit card statement with funds coming from Fulton County or the state of Georgia would not be an accurate statement, because the funds could have very well come from my private practice.
What percentage of your income in 2022 came from money where you're working on this case, or from your partners working for the Fulton County office?
In 2022, I would say 50-50.
You think 50-50 in 2022?
Yes, sir.
What about 2023?
Probably 60-40.
60-40?
Yes, sir.
So the money that would be in those accounts, at least 60% of those, in your view, would be public funds, that those monies were then used to pay for the expenses that you had incurred for the trips that you took Miss Willis on, the cruises, the Napa Valleys, the Bahamas, correct? Right?
Yes.
All right. So, man, that's just grimy. That guy's just grimy. And I just wanted to go back over it, because I saw some things and I said, man, this is going to really, I think it really does lay a good groundwork if you haven't been keeping up with, or you haven't been going back and checking the traps. Because once that happened, was it back in February? Once that happened back in February, we're almost at the end of April now. Most people haven't gone back and looked at that in light of new evidence that we've received. So I thought that was interesting. But Atlanta must be stopped. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so terrible. It's terrible, man. Now, I want to show you something that I think, well, it'll probably disturb you, but it's kind of funny as well. Fulton, and earlier I said that Fulton County is demonstrating and showing us just how corrupt it is. And so, and not only is it corrupt, but it's also just wackadoodle. So anyway, here is a city council meeting. You may or you may not have heard this one. I think it's crazy. So I just thought it would be fun. It might make you laugh a little bit, but it also probably make you cry. So let's just bring it in. It's short. It's like less than 2 minutes long.
We got a signed letter of intent. Shut up.
Just come on. Just a minute.
Shut up. I'm talking.
Just a minute.
You're not talking to me. You're not talking to me.
Shut up. I'm talking.
Make me.
I'm talking.
Make me.
I'm talking.
Make me.
It's my time.
Make
It's
me.
my time.
Make me shut up.
It's my time.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Is that off?
No, I'm not off.
This is a city council meeting. They're arguing about the dog catcher. I mean, literally arguing about something, the dog catcher. And they get into a make me shut up argument. And these are adults. These are adults. Yo, this is crazy. And mind you, that city councilwoman that was brought up on charges because she was having an extramarital affair and like fired the man because he no longer wanted to be involved in the affair with her. She's sitting on the council too. Like, I'll bring it back in real quick so you can see her.
We got a signed letter of intent.
This guy's wild.
Shut up.
Just come on. Just a minute.
Shut up. I'm talking.
Just a minute.
You're not talking to me.
Shut
You're
up.
not talking to me.
Shut up. I'm talking.
Make me.
I'm talking.
Make me.
I'm talking.
Make me.
It's my time.
Make
It's
me.
my.
All right, that councilwoman is right here, third from the right. That councilwoman, I forgot her name. I guess he's arguing with this woman right here in the pink, which is second from the left. I don't know who he's yelling at, but my goodness, in the morning, this place is out of control. Atlanta must be stopped. Oh, Atlanta, go have a nap. You need a nap, Atlanta. Just go take a nap. It's crazy. Shout out to We Watch YouTube. It's shown up in the chat. Thank you so much. We Watch YouTube. Fantastic content creator that has been helping me with some of the videos as well. So shout out to We Watch YouTube. Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by on today. Always good to see you. Always good. And with that, let's see if I missed anybody else. Living Mac and Cheese Life is in the building. Better shut up when I'm talking to me. Is that Fani's brother? I don't know. I don't know. Shari, are you in Dallas, Fort Worth? Okay. My brother's in Dallas, Fort Worth. That's him. That's how I felt, Tawanda. That's exactly how I felt. Like, what in the world am I seeing? Are these adults? Right. They're arguing about animal services. Like, they're not arguing about anything profound. It's the animal services. Dog catcher. Literally. This is some third grade stuff. I don't know. We might be insulting third graders, really. It is childish and it's embarrassing. But this is in Atlanta, man. This is Fulton County. See, Brian said it. That dog catcher should be fired because he let that dog, Nathan Wade, get away. Because we know who let the dogs out. We know who let the dogs out. It's the dog catcher. All right. This is craziness, man. Look, I am embarrassed when I think about this. This is Atlanta, man. This is Atlanta. And this is getting passed off. And people are seeing this as if this is what we support here in the city of Atlanta. So, all right. We are rounding the bases. Okay. One or the other. Do y'all want to talk about Trump or do you want to talk about Biden? In the chat, let me put a poll up in here real quick. I got something about Trump and the Trump case, but I also got something about Biden that slipped under. I don't think anybody talked about this. I've not seen anybody talk about this. So which one do you want to talk about? And we'll only talk about one. We're going to talk about Joe or we're going to talk about Trump. And you know what we're going to talk about with Trump. We're going to talk about the case going on in New York City. All right. Drop it in. I just put a poll up there real quick. Oh, man, most of y'all. I can already see. I already see what y'all talking about. Oh, my gosh. The best live chat ever, Brian. The best live chat on the planet. There's no other way around it. There's no other way around it. Oh, man. Oh, okay. You know what? That's cool because I really want to talk about this case with Biden. Oh, I want to talk about Biden. So you all are in the spirit. You all are in the vein that Dear Woke Christian wants to be in because I want to talk about this. All right. Did you all know that Biden went and spoke at a black church in January? Had y'all heard this story at all? Let me pull it in. Had y'all heard this? I had not heard this. And, well, that's not right, Jason. That's that Tom Holland's case story. Had y'all heard that? Had y'all heard that Joe Biden spoke at a black church back in January? I had not heard anything about this. And I was really amazed. I was like, yo, this is pretty interesting. Had y'all heard this? Let me see. It looks like the general consensus is no. What was the question? I sneezed. I did not know that. Okay, a lot of people didn't know that. And I thought it was really interesting. I did not hear this. And I think it's really interesting that we didn't hear it. And I kind of want to know why we did not hear about this. Because Biden seeks to bolster support from black voters as he looks to general election. All right, so here's the article right here. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. I'm not going to read this to you all because you know what? I think it's going to be kind of boring. I don't think that's what you all came for. I actually have the actual speech. So I'm going to drop this in the chat for you all. You all can go back and check this out. Now, Biden does something here that I really don't like, and y'all know how I feel about it. I hate when politicians come to churches and speak. I really hate that. I don't think that any church, black, white, Democrat, or Republican, should have politicians in the sacred box. That's a big no-no. I have major, major problems with that. It's wrong. It's inappropriate. And catch me outside if you have a difficulty with what I just said. But not only that, but when they get in the sacred box, and this is on a Sunday, so we're not even doing like the Fani Willis during the MLK sermon, but this is literal. This was before that, actually. This is actually on a Sunday, And Joe Biden tells the congregation what the gospel is. And it is deplorable. I'm this one right here, I was like, man, this is some nasty work for real. So let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off, Jason. Let's bring them in. And this is in a church. This is in, I believe the church is St. John Baptist Church in South Carolina. And he's literally there on a Sunday during the Lord's Day. But watch this. This thing right here this is terrible. And so I think I know why. And we'll talk about it at the end. Why do you think nobody talked about this? Because this is from January 20, I think it was 26th or 27th, something like that. I'll look it up exactly what time it was. But this is in a church. But watch what he says.
Hello.
The audio started out kind of wacky there.
Please, thank you. Thanks for bringing me home. Oh, y'all think I'm kidding. For the longest time, when I was a young public defender and a United States Senator, I went to, if you'll excuse me, an AME church. I apologize. But Reverend Beeman, you brought it all back, Rev. I tell you what, the man can preach, can he?
So before we go too far, can y'all hear that okay? Because it sounds really low on my end. And before I get too far afield, I want to make sure that you can't hear it. Okay, I was wondering that because it sounds terribly low on my end. The audio is low. Okay, well, we got to fix that. All right, we got to get Joe loud because y'all got to hear this guy. It's very low. Let's do it on my end. All right, let me see. It is coming in really low. I don't know why it's coming so low. Oh, Lord, now the team has just come in. All right, let me see if I can make this a little bit louder. Okay, let's see if we can do this differently because maybe I need to. I mean, I have the actual clip for this reason, but it's coming through low on my end, and I don't want it to be low on your end as well. All right, let's pull this in. It's only 3 minutes. Let's see if we can make it a little louder. I appreciate that. Thank y'all for letting me know. All right, let's pull this in. We'll just go to the website and pull in their link. So let's do this. Get rid of the me. Pull this in. And we'll try it again. Yeah, I was like surprising. Nobody's talked about this. All right, let's fix this. Y'all pray for me. I'm going to get better at this. I tell you, I'm going to be a beast with this eventually. All right, let's go. Your browser will not allow it to play. Because why? Because reasons. All right, let's do this. All right, well, that wasn't cool. All right, let me try it this way. All right, let's see. Why will it not allow me to play it louder? And as I pull it in, it's still not coming in loud. I have no idea why. All right, give me 1 second. We're going to fix this. Keep you humble, boy. I tell you, this thing right here will not let you get beside yourself and think that you're too big for your britches. I tell you, doing content like this will keep you humble. It will keep you humble. All right, let's just do it like this. Well, that's not good. That's not what I want. Let's try like this. And I don't know if it's going to actually, if the volume is going to increase. That's one of the things I'm feeling bad about. I hate that the volume was not louder. Let's see if it pulls in. Oh, it's not coming any louder now. Ay. That's not it either. All right, so that's going to be problematic. It's still not sounding loud. Okay. I'm sorry about that, y'all. All right. Why is it not letting me play it through the browser? That's unfortunate. All right, let's try it like this. Oh, that's me. So I already know that. Why will it not let you play it? I have no idea. Okay, so we are going to try one more time. All right, let me pull this in.
Hello. Please, thank you. Thanks for bringing me home. Are y'all defender and a United States Senator? I went to, if you'll excuse me, an AME church. I apologize. But Reverend Beeman, you brought it all back, Rev. I tell you what, the man can preach, can he?
Okay, does that sound better? It's a little low on my end, but if it sounds better for you all, then I'm gonna let it roll and go from there. Let me try one more thing. It's still doing that. It still won't let me play it through the browser for some reason. It's very low. Why? Why is it so low? What is the problem? Okay, last thing. Last try. Hold on a second. Let's do it like this. All right.
Hello. Please, thank you. Thanks for bringing me home.
Man, that's low.
Y'all think I'm kidding. For the longest time, when I was a young public defender and a United States Senator, I went to...
Yeah, I don't think that's any better.
Reverend Beeman, you brought it all back, Rev.
I don't think that was any better, truthfully. I have no idea why. Okay, so all right, so the people are saying the subtitles are okay, but for some reason or other, like I can't hear. Okay, so they're saying it's okay. I think it's loud enough to hear. Okay. Interesting. All right. Let me pull it back in then. I took it down because I couldn't. It was hard for me to hear it. Now, I don't know what happened. Oh my goodness. Let's switch this out. All right, let's pull it back in. Sorry about that, y'all. Well, let's do it together. We're just gonna be quiet. I'll just be quiet. I got the memo from y'all. Y'all told me to be quiet. Stop talking. Oh, what the heck? I tell you. All right, let's make this larger. All right, let's go. Sorry.
You appreciate the fit?
Oh, man. Okay, so apparently, hold on. Apparently, the video is not playing. And because I was playing it through the browser, I could not see the messages. And people are apparently, oh my gosh. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. Okay. Clearly. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have to do something different with this. I have no idea why it's playing ridiculous, because it sounds fine on my end. It's just kind of low. So maybe I'll just do this as a separate video on its own. But it's Joe Biden kind of explaining again his misunderstanding of the gospel. And it's just bananas. So I apologize. Thank you so much, Q, for texting me. And yes, Trina just came in here talking to me. So I'm going to stop because that thing is, again, I don't know why it's not behaving right. It was working perfectly before we went live. So some reason or other, it's just not for, I don't know why. Man, it's crazy, but that's okay. I'll just do something special. I'll do something different with that one. Maybe I'll just, maybe I'll save it for tomorrow during the AMA, or if I get it to work tonight, maybe I'll just do a special live just to discuss this one and get it, whatever. Because I don't want to traumatize y'all. I don't want to have it too loud. And again, it was working perfectly before when I ran the test. There was no problem with it. And it's the same video quality that I used with all the other ones that have worked perfectly. So I really do apologize about that. Sorry, y'all. Going to end on a bad note, that one. But I appreciate y'all. I know you all could see. I know you could still read the subtitles. I'm gonna fix it, play it normal, and then allow you all to actually fully enjoy it like it's supposed to be enjoyed as best you can enjoy Joe Biden's speech. But so I apologize about that. But thank you all for letting me know that, because I couldn't even see I had the browser open up on this window and I wasn't able to see I was no longer able to see my comments. So thankfully you all shot me a text, because otherwise I would have just kept on going and didn't even realize it. So we'll figure it out. I appreciate y'all. All right, real quick, man, sorry, really sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. I'm sorry that Neva, I really do apologize about that. But I have the video right here. I'm going to look at it and figure out why it's not playing correctly. Maybe it was doing something different. I don't know. And I'll fix that as best I can. So I appreciate it, though. Let me see. Anything else that I might have missed? Yeah, the system doesn't want the information out. That's for sure. But I apologize for that. But thank y'all for the support, though. I appreciate y'all. I really do thank y'all for everything that y'all have done to support the channel during the last couple of months. It's been a lot of fun. There's just been a lot of craziness going on. So tomorrow, to just hang out with you all, we're going to just do an AMA. Bring your questions, ask your questions, all that kind of good jazz like that. I do want to let you know that on Tuesday, I'm having Keith Foskey from Conversations with the Calvinists come in. Maybe I'll have him. Maybe I'll fix the video and Keith will respond in real time to the sermon. Because this, whatever this is that Joe Biden is doing, remarks, because nobody's heard it. So maybe that'll be fun. Maybe I'll surprise Keith. We were going to talk about the election and what should be a Christian's perspective on voting and so on and so forth. But maybe I'll do that. Maybe it'll be a surprise. I'll tell them that we're going to talk about this, and then I'll be like, surprise, it's Joe Biden. So that's on Tuesday. So tomorrow I got my AMA. So bring your questions. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. On Tuesday, 7 o'clock, me and Keith are going to be doing it's supposed to be a discussion on what should be the Christian's perspective on elections and voting and civic duties and so forth. However, we might just flip a little script on them and say, surprise, it's Joe Biden. Then on Thursday, we are going to be doing our 50-member celebration critical race theory bingo, and it's going to be crazy. So keep your eyes on the community posts, because I'll be dropping them in there for you all to keep you all up to date. And next Saturday, a week from today, Lord willing, we'll be doing some surprises. We might have some in-studio guests next Saturday. So the live stream is going to be super packed, because there's going to be a few people in the studio on next Saturday. Stay tuned to that as well. Hey, yo, Juan, thank you so much. I got to get my sound effect ready. Juan, thank you so much for supporting your guy. Rico. All right. Juan says, hey, thank you for what you do. Juan, thank you all so much. Sorry I put you in timeout too, by the way. But thank you all. You all make this thing Rico. So we got the Rico Defense Fund. Thank you, man, for helping out. helping your guy. Matter of fact, I do want to say shout out to that because you all have helped fund the second camera. Let's get that second camera in here, Jason. You all have funded the second camera, so thank you all for that. It means a lot. The next goal is we're going to be putting a new camera in at Podium Studio as well as a producer's microphone. So our producer will be able to be a part of the show as well. At the studio as well. So that's going to be fun. And that'll be coming up soon. So thank you all so much for the support. Thank you so much for the second camera. That means a lot. I appreciate it. Let me see. Brianne's in the building. What did Joe Biden do now? She says, just got here. Oh, no problem. For whatever reason, it's for you that I wasn't able to play the video for whatever reason. I don't know why. And I will be playing it on tomorrow or Tuesday when Keith Foskey comes in. That'll be a fun conversation, actually. That'll be ridiculous. Oh, what is Tawanda? Tawanda coming through. Thank you so much. What do you say? Thank you, Jason, for all you do. Keep missing your lives. Glad I caught this one. Oh, no. I look. Rico. Where are you, Tawanda, by the way? Because I do try to be mindful. I do have some East Coast Avengers. I got some people in the UK. I got some people in South Africa. So sometimes I try to stream. I try to do my stream with them in mind. So that's why I didn't do it super. That's why I said, early Saturday for the West Coasters might be good. Where are you, Tawanda? I thought you're in Minnesota. Okay. All right. So I appreciate it. I'm trying to, and maybe, you know what? That's what we'll talk about tomorrow. There we go. We'll do a little kind of survey, find out what's the best time. Because I know what YouTube is telling me as it relates to the best time to go live. And I try to stay within that range, if you will. But, I would love to hear what y'all think as it relates to, because, I've seen people do these super late night ones. I got people that do these early morning ones and such like that. I don't know if that's the best time. So we can talk about that tomorrow during AMA. I love it. Ask questions. I'll ask y'all some questions, get some feedback, and hopefully we'll all get better from it. So that'd be great. So that's what tomorrow is. Tomorrow's Ask Me Anything. Feel free to bring the questions in. This is the perfect time, and it's evening here in the UK. Okay, so it is 3:30 here. So that means you said evening. So we're talking, it's 5 hours difference. It's like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I always try to find out that stuff. So, and of course I never be perfect at it, but hey, if I can do one earlier or one later, it'd be, it's 8:17. Wow. That is wild. Okay. I love it. Thank you. But, we can do that tomorrow for the AMA. I appreciate it. And, that'll be it. Everybody, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for the supers. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you to all of the moderators because you all keep this ship flowing. Again, shout out to Kiana who texted me because I was literally not able to see my messages and I'm over here just going at it. And it wasn't even working. Wild. And I appreciate every last one of you because you all are the best live chat in the world. Again, Screen Actors Guild, I've already put in the application for best supporting live chat. It's got to be y'all. It's got to be. So hopefully that'll be coming in soon. If nothing else, y'all know how you know what you mean to me. So that's what matters. Thank you so much. We'll be back having fun tomorrow. Live chat will be popping. We're going to be doing the AMA. Next Thursday, we're going to be doing Critical Race Theory Bingo. It's going to be ridiculous. And I might have some guests. So we might have some guests for Critical Race Theory Bingo. And then, of course, next Saturday, we're going to be doing a live stream. And there'll be some guests in the studio, in Podium Studio. So just putting it out there. You all think about it, cogitate on it. Maybe I'll throw out some little breadcrumbs to let you all know about it the rest of the week. So you'll be ready for next week's live stream because it's going to be wild. We're going to have a great time. We have some good things planned. It's going to be a good conversation too, by the way. So thank you all so much. Yes, there we go. Thank you to all of the mods. Thank you. Thank you, mods. You all keep this thing going. So I appreciate you all. Everybody have a fantastic rest of your Saturday. If there's only a little bit of Saturday left or you got a lot of Saturday, it doesn't matter. Have a fantastic Saturday. And as soon as I get this video fixed, I'll let y'all know in the community post. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all mean the most to me. Thank you so much. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Take care. See you soon.